الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. Alhamdulillah, enough has been said. These are blessed days, and these are blessed words, and these are blessed gatherings, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that despite our faults, that we receive a large portion of those blessings in this life and in our graves and on the day of judgment. And when we meet Him subhanahu wa ta'ala, we find that as the final ummah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, one of the greatest blessings that comes with the package of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is absolute clarity in what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us. And as was mentioned before, there are people who are kind of stumbling in the darkness, but once in a while they stumble upon some truth. They'll find things like intentionality is important, or minimalism makes me a little less worried about things, or a little less anxious, right? And they'll find these little flecks of gold, but no nuggets. And one of the blessings of the Prophet ﷺ is we get the full package. We get all gold and no other materials to lessen its value. And this is a really important thing to hold on to, because yes, there may be some truth in things that we find around the world, but there is ultimate truth is with the Prophet ﷺ and with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and with that revelation from the Lord of the throne. And I remember reading in one of our teachers' books, Tawjihun Nabi, that he read a book by a man, and this is a book that's written in Arabic. Our teacher's book is written in Arabic, and he says he read a book by a man named Dale Carnegie in Arabic, and it's called How to Win, what is it called? How to Win Friends and Influence People. And he said, I found in this book very good principles, but I found that we have everything that's in this book and more in the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Right? And this is the reality, that we don't want to have this inferiority complex that we see, oh, these philosophers are so smart and these things, and then we find on the back end they're mostly quoting from Imam Ghazali. Right? And this is the reality of our ummah, that a lot of our treasures have been misappropriated, right? And without citation or without a little bibliography in the end. Oh, this is from Ibn Sina or whatever it may be. And having this clarity from the Prophet ﷺ is really important. And one of the best examples of that is Hajj, right? And we're in the days of Hajj. The Jahiliyyah Arabs, the pre-Islamic Arabs, they had a form of Hajj, but because they have lost the authentic Hajj from their great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, right? They started to do all these wacky things and weird things, right? They lost some of what was true, and they added some of what was false. And they lost the true meaning of Hajj. They used to not do the running between Safa and Marwa because of some pre-Arabian story of Na'il and Asif. Asif and Na'ila, two people who did some shameful act inside the Kaaba and were turned into stone. And those stones were put on top of Safa and Marwa. So they abandoned Safa and Marwa. They turned away from it because of this other thing. They would do tawaf, but they would do tawaf sometimes naked. Akramakumullah. They would slaughter, but they would slaughter to idols. Right? When they would do the salat, مَا كَانَ صَلَاتُهُمْ عِنْدَ الْبَيْتِ إِلَّا مُكَاءً وَتَصْفِيَةً. That when they would pray in front of the Kaaba, they would pray by whistling and clapping. And this is what they were holding on to flecks of the truth. Yes, there was a prayer. Yes, there was a tawaf, but they were doing it wrong. They lost the tradition of the prophets. Right? And even the timing of the Hajj was changed. They would change the Hajj so that it would coincide with the market season, so that when everyone would come to Mecca, they would have all the goods ready for them to buy. It became a transactional thing. And sometimes they would even slip in an extra month or change the count in order for that to line up. Right? And this is something Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Quran, إِنَّمَا النَّسِيءُ زِيَادَةٌ فِي الْكُفْرِ, that changing these months and reallocating these sacred months is an increase in disbelief. And for this exact reason, it wasn't until I believe the 9th year after the Hijrah that the Prophet ﷺ did his Hajj, because that was the time when it actually aligned with the real timing that it's supposed to be. That this is when the original Hajj of Ibrahim alayhi salam was supposed to be done. And that's when the Prophet ﷺ did his Hajj. Right? So we can see all of these examples of, yes, there is truth out there in other dispensations. There is wisdom out there, as the Prophet ﷺ said, it's the lost item of the believer, so take it wherever it may be. But if you want the full package, unadulterated truth, it is with the Prophet ﷺ. And from this, the Prophet ﷺ said about Hajj, خُذُوا عَنِّي مَنَاسِكَكُمْ, take from me your rites, your rituals of Hajj. Just as he said, ﷺ, صَلُّوا كَمَا رَأَيْتُمُونِي أُصَلِّي, pray as though you've seen me pray. Because with him, ﷺ, is the ultimate truth. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow us to taste what it means to have love for the most beloved of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to act in accordance to that, and to live our lives in accordance to the clarity and the guidance that he brought. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa alihi wa sallam.